So now, having worked all the heel flap and short row section, working back and forth, we're now ready to start working on this little gusset section, which will join the heel back to the main foot of your mini sock. So we need to do this by picking up the stitches from the heel flap. So beginning by picking up our spare needle, and we're going to use those slip stitches that we made when we were working the heel flap to pick up our next set of stitches. We need to pick up 6 altogether, and you can see very clearly where they are because there's the slip stitch there, and I'm going to go into the first one, and that's 1, and into the next one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's my first set of picked up stitches on the side of the heel flap. Now I'm going to use my next spare needle and pick up the leg stitches. And for this section, the stitches are actually already sitting on the needle, so I just need to knit across. But what I'm going to do is also place a mark on it. Just makes it more helpful later on when I'm knitting the pattern to be able to clearly recognise the needle 1. So I'm going to knit 5. And then I'm going to place a marker. So there's 5, and then I'm going to place my little marker here and then continue and knit 5. So that's now going to be called needle 1. And now I've got my spare needle again, ready to pick up my next 6 stitches along the other side of the heel flap with those slip stitches that we made before. So again, into the first one, 1. Oops, I think I caught the yarn below, so let me just do that once more. That's better. So 1, and just pull the yarn in nice and firmly to get a good join. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So you can see I've now picked up all my stitches, but of course I've got them on 4 needles and I need one of the needles to use for continuing my knitting. So before finishing this needle, I'm going to carry on by knitting 3 more stitches off that very first needle. 1, 2, 3. So that's 3. So now I've now got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 on that needle, and I'm going to slip those other 3 stitches onto the very first needle I used. So now I've gone back to using 3 needles. So I've now got my spare needle to work. I'm just going to finally, before I start the next part of the shaping, knit across those 3 slip stitches. 1, 2, 3, and then can carry on across the 6 from the first needle. So I've now got 9 in total on that needle. So before we carry on with the next section, let's just check that we've got all the right number of stitches. So what I'm going to call needle 1 is the one that's got the marker. That has got 10 stitches on it, and then the other 2 needles have got both 9 stitches. So now I'm ready to work on round 31 of the pattern, and it asks me to knit from needle 1, knit 10. So I simply knit straight across needle 1, and that with the marker is a good way of knowing I'm on the right needle. So that's my first 5, slip marker, and another 5. So that's needle 1, that's my knit 10. Then the pattern says on needle 2, knit 1, then I've got to SSK, so slip, slip, and knit into the back. That's SSK, so that's a decrease stitch, and then knit to the end of that needle. So I should now on this needle to have 8 stitches remaining, 2, 4, 6, 8. Then turn again. I'm now ready to work on needle 3. This time I'm going to knit to the last 3 stitches, knit 2 together, knit 1, and again I should have decreased and therefore have 8 stitches left, 2, 4, 6, 8, and then I'm back to needle 1 again. So that's the end of my round 31, and that is the way we carry on working the gusset section. So that's this section here, and that we'll carry on until we're then ready to work on the toe section.